What's going on, Consciouztv? Your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to the riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to talk about on this God-given Monday. It is August 18th. A bitch is back home. Boots to the ground, baby. Back to regular scheduled motherfucking programming. Oh, I know it feels like it's been forever. It's really only been a week. It's really only been a few days because I did come to you guys about 3-4 days ago and talk to you guys about my amazing religious experience on edibles, which I'm going to talk a little bit about as well. But before we get into the tee-hee-hee of the day, you guys make sure that you guys go ahead and thumbs up the video until it's absolutely stuck. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. And because we've been gone for so long and we back with the jump off, you guys know the algorithm is going to move real slow. So we got to run those likes all the way up. So if you're in the building as a Bush baby, part of the Replay Gang, or you're active with me in real time, please smash, dash, bully, and beat and assault the hell out of the thumbs up button. We need that. It's $3.99. It don't cost you nothing. And speaking of not costing you nothing, you guys can also support the platform on Cash App, $Consciouztv, Conscious with a Z on the end, and or paypal.me/ConsciouzTV. Of course, Conscious spelled just how it is here on the platform. All information is in the description box below. You can also follow me on Instagram and Patreon as well. All those handles are in the description box below. And my moderators do a wonderful job at rotating all links and pointing you guys where you guys need to be pointed to. Last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a where you lay the link. Just let them know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What is going on, Conscious crew? Hey, everybody. We are back with the myth, y'all. I am so happy to see you guys. What is going on, my Nicole? Hey, babe. What's going on, Valerie? Hey, Auntie Trish. What's going on, Teresa? Hey, my room is in tea. What's going on, Shayla? Oh, my God, I'm so sorry to hear that, Miss Sam. I remember, Nurse Sam, you telling me about your client and how you guys would gag and laugh and enjoy yourselves over my commentary. I am so sad to hear that your client transitioned, but I'm so happy to know that she left happy and peacefully and that she got to enjoy you as a companion and that I got to make some part of her experience better and more enjoyable. So rest in peace to your client and light and love to you and her family and all that knew her. Wow. My God, today, man, life is life, and you guys. That's why we got to stay present, enjoy the moment, and enjoy our lives, because life is really short, you all. Life is really short, and none of us are going to live forever. So you really got to live your ass off, okay? I call it living your ass off, okay? Live your ass all the way off, okay? What's going on, Star? Hey, Valerie. What's going on, Ray? Hey, I did not forget about you, Ray. You got I was kind of on a mini vacation for the past week, so soon as I had got all of that tea and intel, I was off to Philadelphia. So now I'm back. I'm getting into the groove, and we'll be able to, crack and get into some things this week. Also, shout out to my baby mother Amari for the my baby mother Queen B1. Thank you, baby mother. Okay, for untoward dinner. Look, and I was just thinking to myself, what is the cane gonna eat? I said, what is the cane gonna eat? Because it's storming real bad. It's been going crazy back at home. The whole time I was in Philadelphia, I kept getting all these damn like notifications that it was flooding, it was stormy, and all these tropical storms billowing through. Then when I got home yesterday, I could tell that the power had went off a few times because some of the LED lighting in my home had reset. And that only happens when there's been like a generator done shut off and came back on and all that, child. So we're getting some major storming right now, which is why I'm gonna have to kind of swiftly get through this commentary because I don't need Miss Stormiana playing on my Wi-Fi's head top, child, which been acting real weird still. It's been acting weird. Like yesterday, my Wi-Fi was out for like a whole hour. I was gonna go live yesterday, but you know, the shadow period of retrograde, girl, is still laying it on thick. All right. But shout out to my baby mother, Imari, for the old nasty piece of child support check. You guys know all donation information is in the description box below. What's going on, Kimani's Way? What's going on, Ave? Hey, Marsha. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Sandra. What's going on, Miss Mika? Hey, Gabriella. Hey, Dancing with Nature. What's going on, Brooke? Hey, Boo. Y'all thumbs up. Hey, Sin. What's going on, Valerie? Hey, Nakia. Hey, Kita. Hey, y'all. Let me make sure I ain't missing nobody, child. I ain't seen all of them. What's going on, Samuel? CTV is in the big CTV. What's going on, Bohemian? Is it Rock Saudi Bohemian? I like that name, Rock Saudi Bohemian. It got a nasty, real metaphysical ring to it. So let's get into it, you guys. You guys know, I went to Philadelphia, and I went to this really chill, girl, and I ended up having a damn ayahuasca level experience on edibles. This is my second time having a deeply, deeply transformative experience on edibles. You guys know I don't smoke, I don't drink. Sometimes I feel like that's kind of been the Achilles heel of my life, is that I'm too sober for this. I'm too lucid. I'd be like, girl, everybody else on drugs and narcotics. Like, why am I not sipping on something every day? Why am I not puff, not giving something every day, girl? Because maybe that's how everybody else is able to just like, just be smooth selling, girl. Okay. Like, do I need to be drugged up with everybody? Okay. Because sometimes I just be like, girl, it's going to take drugs to get through some of this. Okay. So because I don't have a tolerance built up when it comes to cannabis and all of these interesting chemicals, I almost hit the altar like a whole virgin, and my cherry gets popped in like very dramatic ways. Last time that I had experienced an edible was in 2022, and I was with the same person I was with this time in Philadelphia. And my experience was absolutely mind-blowing. Nobody warned me that my experience would be what it was, but because I had been through the edible experience one time before, I did know it was possible that I would have another level of God experience on edibles, but I was thinking because I took one edible instead of two, like last time, that I would just levitate. A bitch ended up flying off to Mars, girl, past the solar system, past all the galaxies, into the outer reaches of reality, girl. I was with the Lord, bitch, okay, present with the Lord and completely and utterly absent from the body, yada, 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 yada. I also did illegally transport those edibles, girl, through TSA, even though I had did extensive Reddit research. It was like, girl, let me see how many people successfully trafficked edibles, girl, through Miss TSA. And technically, they have a federal law where you can't transport anything more than 0.3% of THC through an airport. It doesn't matter whether you are coming from a pro-marijuana state or if you're going to a pro-marijuana state. Federal law is you cannot transport more than 0.3% of THC through TSA. So, girl, I had consulted with a few users, and then I consulted with the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter. And I didn't really hear anything back from the Holy Trinity girl. Okay, so then I went to second best, which was the ancestors' child. And the ancestors said that they would just pull all their energy to protect me to the best of their ability, girl, if I wanted to roll those type of a dice. All right, so I said, well, I'm going to be covered. At least my ancestors going to have my back, girl. And, you know, I'm just going to be prepared to take this charge, which really wasn't that deep. I could get access to edibles. I could honestly make them myself. But y'all know when I spoke to y'all in the middle of the week last week, I'm going to be going into a whole experimentation with edibles. I'm going to be experimenting with my consciousness in the state of consciousness, which is it's one of the most heightened states of awareness I've ever been in my entire life. I could literally see through closed eyelids. I could transcend time and space. I could see the hearts of men. I could discern any energy. I could discern any frequency and awareness. For those of you who are very familiar with X-Men, particularly the mutant leader Charles Xavier, edibles would be like what's to him my cerebro. It like amplifies all of my psychic and prophetic and metaphysical gifts, traits, and tendencies. It just takes it to the moon and back. So edibles essentially for me is like an infinity stone. It amplifies everything, girl. And I was like, you know what? I want to replicate this exact experience. And I had about 9 or 10 of them left. And I was like, girl, I paid $30 at the dispensary for these infinity stones, bitch. Like, at the very least, they'll just throw them away at the airport, or, you know, they'll put out the dogs and I'll be embarrassed. And they'll sniff all my shit. And, you know, I'll hog up and hold up the airport, girl, and cause bundles of people to miss their flights and everything, girl. Because they got the canines out and every damn thing else. But it's probably unlikely that they are going to call the local law enforcement and just waste time doing all of that. Because according to all of my personal Reddit research, girl, TSA is more concerned with just screening for weapons than they are for drugs. So I was like, girl, I'm going to do it. I'm gangster, girl, okay? This edible done eradicated my fear. And there were lots of people who had successfully trafficked edibles from state to state to state. Like, there are people who had came back from Vegas with them, came back from Cali with them, and they successfully made it through TSA. So I took my chances and I made it. The only thing that the TSA agent had saw was my I had an Aquafina bottle in my carry-on, and he was like, "You can't bring that on, brother man." I said, "Okay, that's fine, honey. Okay, that's a small price to pay, bitch, for what I'm about to get away with, girl. So go ahead and toss that Aquafina." Okay, so everything went fine. The flight went fine. I flew American Airlines. I don't have a preference when it comes to flying. I'll probably fly on a goddamn parachute, really. And that was that. I made it home. And so now there's going to be a lot of research done in the area of THC and what that can do with my gifts. I will be bringing that also in the form of content to you guys. I have also spoken to Dr. Reed. He's going to help to facilitate some of the scientific explorations around me and THC. I'm going to replicate this experience in front of him. And he has the production space and the production equipment to really facilitate the level of scientific research that I would want. I'm talking about, I want to be hooked up to EKGs. I want to see what I look like under a microscope. I want to see what everything in me is sounding off as in a state like this. And we're going to find a way to present this content to you guys once we kind of get further into some of the observations. And I have kind of a whole spiritual team that I'm going to be dealing with and moving forward into this area. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. I am somebody who literally was kind of always kind of, I don't know. I've always been like the designated driver. I've always been the non-smoker in the group. So it's crazy to almost be 40 and for THC to have kind of dropped into my life in this very dramatic ass way. But I really, really, really believe that we're on some next level shit when it comes to me and THC. And I really feel like we have dawned upon something very, very special, something that is going to contribute to the understanding of consciousness and what consciousness is and the medicinal and holistic effects and properties of cannabis and THC and possibly other psychedelics like ayahuasca, DMT, etc. I literally was not expecting to go into this area of my life. This is kind of how I know that something beyond me is ushering this in and that this is kind of bigger than me. This is an area of life I've always stayed away from. I had an alcoholic father growing up. My mother was a smoker. Mostly everybody in my life was a smoker. And none of them ever made smoking appealing to me. I never saw people be more productive. I never saw that they were better as a result of drinking and smoking. So for me, there was never any logical reason to pick up smoking or drinking because I didn't really see where it benefited people from. But considering all of the psychological and emotional effects that edibles had on me and some of the supernatural and metaphysical components of that experience, I'm like, yeah, there's another side of THC that definitely needs more visibility and more conversation and can really be integrated into some progressiveness around psychology and psychiatric health, the treatment of mental illnesses, the treatment of depression. And I know some of those explorations and medicinal uses are already there, but God is definitely putting me up in this motherfucking shit to get this, like to press the gas and then some. So I am going to submit myself holistically, mind, body, and soul to this next phase. And I'm super excited. So I'll be keeping you guys updated on all of that. And while all of that is unfolding, we have to catch up and get into some mess because there is a lot that have been going on since I've been gone for a week. You guys know that 1 week off social media is almost like 1 month, girl, of being away from the world. And one of the first things I want to get into, of course, is no other than Miss Wendy Williams. You guys have been blowing me up. Like, where are you, CTV? Where are you, girl? Like, everything's going on. What's going on with our girl, Wendy, etc. Wendy got it going on. Wendy has been having it going on ever since her son stole all that money from her that activated Wells Fargo and led to her glamorized imprisonment in this conservatorship that it looks like Wendy honestly is going to be in for the rest of her life. And I'm actually starting to believe that her lawyers also know this. But of course, this is the easy paycheck for Wendy's attorneys, you know, like fight a battle that you know y'all are going to lose because at the end of the day, like, you still get paid, no matter what the end result is of this continual battle between Wendy and the guardianship. New York's guardianship system is one of the most problematic lock and jaw guardianships in the entire fucking country. It is deeply unregulated, which is why it's very difficult for people to get themselves out of New York's guardianship. Guardianship has also been a cesspool, unfortunately, for immoral and unethical attorneys and judges who have placated and depended upon the vulnerability of the guardianship system to prey on people's wellness, to prey on people's freedom, to prey on their money. I know that a lot of people think that these conservatorships are really only for the rich, but they're not. Despite well-known conservatorship members like Wendy and Britney Spears, guardianship and conservatorship can be something that anybody can find themselves in. We did a deep dive into the New York guardianship system last year when all of this stuff was resurfacing again with Wendy and Wells Fargo and the courts and Sabrina Morrissey. And we found out that regular people who only needed guardianship for one reason, or maybe have needed it temporarily, ended up locked in that shit for years. How people's parents utilized the guardianship system, took advantage of it to strip their children of their rights, of their inheritances. So this is a system that can be weaponized. It is a system that can be corrupted depending on who's initiating it and depending on who's benefiting ultimately from that guardianship. But it's definitely not just for the rich. Everyday people have their horror stories of being locked into guardianship systems. Some people needed this system when they got injured on a job, when they experienced a traumatic head injury, and they needed, a system to come in to protect their estate, to protect their assets. And then once they got well, they had to fight like tooth and nail to get themselves out of this predicament. So the guardianship situation is interesting. However, for Wendy, I'm not going to say that there's not corruption, but Wendy's particular predicament is very convoluted and it's very complicated. And it's not just the guardianship itself being some big bad boogeyman. Wendy and her son messed the situation up for her. Her son is why she's in a guardianship. And Wendy also had an opportunity within the guardianship to have her loved ones be her handler instead of Sabrina Morrissey. But Wendy did not want her sister, who is also a New York-based attorney, to represent her because, as it's quoted, she said to the producers of Where's Wendy Williams documentary that her sister didn't want her to drink, and she didn't like that because Wendy wants to be a drug head. She wants to be a crackhead. She wants to be an alcoholic. Wendy surrounds herself with yes men, which is why her dynamics with her family are so complicated and lopsided. Once the guardianship was initiated, Wendy tried to bring in her son to Wells Fargo to appoint him as power of attorney. But at that point, it was too late. And of course, her son was not going to be the proper candidate as a handler because he was the very reason why they had concerns over what was taking place in Wendy's accounts. He was the one ciphering hundreds of thousands of dollars unauthorized from her account. And then we found out this year through the TMZ interview with Wendy Williams, who finally confessed that yes, Wells Fargo did not lie. My son was stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from me. I was living with him at the time in Miami. And on top of that, he would hog my cell phone. Wells Fargo phone calls to me were being intercepted. They were attempting to contact me to ask me, was everything okay? They were, wanting to speak to me to get approval of all these chunks of money that were coming out of my account, and my son wouldn't give me my phone. To make matters worse, Wendy told Harvey of TMZ that her son also had members within his friendship group that were calling into Wells Fargo attempting to imitate her to cipher money out of her account. So Wells Fargo did exactly what the fuck they were supposed to do. And initially, they were only seeking a financial guardianship. They were not seeking a full-on guardianship. It was Wendy's family and friends who, once they learned that Wells Fargo had went to the courts to greenlight a financial guardianship, then started contacting Wells Fargo associates saying, look, this woman needs help. She's being taken advantage of. We are afraid she's going to die. Somebody has to intervene and do something. We're not able to save her. And so when Wells Fargo, and you can see on the docket, I showed you guys the whole entire docket between Wells Fargo and the courts and Wendy. Wells Fargo had requested a confidential hearing where they could protect their sources because they had now been given extra intel from Wendy's family and friends about Wendy's health and their concerns for her well-being. So there was a confidential hearing held where Wells Fargo was able to present the statements and the written affidavits of the family and friends. And the judge then looked at all of that and said, okay, looks like she might need a full-on guardianship. The situation is a lot worse than just her money being ciphered from her. She's pretty much, on death row at this point. And then when Wendy was finally brought into the case, the judge literally was willing to allow her to be guardianed by her own people. And Wendy just really could not get herself together. She really could not, appoint anybody. She was just all over the place. And the judge just got impatient, and they had a court-appointed attorney, which is Sabrina, come in and just handle all of this. And then the rest has been history. So Wendy's attorney recently spoke out because apparently some medical documents from Wendy's recent medical exams concerning her frontotemporal dementia were leaked to the press. The attorney has come out and said that he doesn't believe that this information is completely legit. They're going to be challenging this information in the next court hearing. He believes that HIPAA laws were violated. He wants to know who's responsible for leaking this medical exam to the press. He wants to know the legitimacy of it. He claims that him and Wendy have not even seen these results. And he's wanting some sanctions and penalties. He recently interviewed with Don Lemon. So we're going to let you guys hear from Wendy's attorney, Joe Tacopina, who spoke to Don Lemon a few days ago about Wendy's diagnosis apparently coming back positive for frontotemporal dementia, which means that she will remain in guardianship until further notice. And this is what Joe Tacopina had to say.
So the truth can be exposed. Joe Tacopina, Wendy Williams' attorney. Thank you, Joe, for joining. What are you saying there, sir?
I said it all there. This is a false diagnosis.
Okay, wait a minute. I cannot share my screen, and I don't know why. Why can't I share my screen? Wait a minute, you guys. Let me see if I can share my screen. This browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen. I don't know what's going on. So it looks like we're not going to be doing no screen sharing. Okay, so bear with me.
And it's nothing more than a weapon to keep Wendy trapped. And I'll be blunt. I'll go Brooklyn on this. I dare the doc behind it to face me under oath. I do. Because listen, Don, you know Wendy well. You're one of her good friends. I know Wendy. I've spent time with her. I have conversations with her almost daily. She's never forgotten one word in a conversation I've had with her in the last 8 months. To say she has dementia. Dementia is a serious medical diagnosis where you obviously are a risk to yourself and to others, and you're a danger, and you don't recall things you don't remember. And even if it's that frontal lobal dementia, which is like an in and out type of dementia, it just doesn't appear with her. She is the most together. Look, she had and suffered from alcoholism. We know that. That is often.
You think you're fine after a car accident until this happens.
They paying bills and
Most
we
people
paying
don't
them too,
realize
child.
that even
Y'all thumbs up,
accidents that
thumbs
seem
up, thumbs
minor
up,
can
thumbs up,
financially
thumbs up
destroy
for me.
you when the real cost.
I don't know why my screen won't share, and I really wanted it. I wanted to share my screen, child. Jesus.
For FTL, that frontal lobal dementia. Okay, it's not with Wendy. Wendy's not have dementia, and she's like it hurts me to see this because she's so happy. She's trying to be so positive. She's listening to people who are saying this is going to be resolved soon. And it's starting to get frustrating for me. And
well, don't tell her that. Tell her the truth. Like, bitch, we're in a complicated situation. This is one of the worst guardianship programs in the entire country. You've already been battling the guardianship for more than a year and a half. We can't give you a clear indicating point when this is going to be over. These people are going to fight for their life to more than likely keep you here. This is deeply unregulated. Why are y'all giving her false hope to begin with? Like, there's nothing wrong with the truth. The truth is less high maintenance. They're maintaining false hope and false security. They should not be falsely encouraging her. You can't call the system deeply corrupted and then in every interview be saying how people get trapped in a system like this. So then you know how difficult it is to come out of some shit like this. But then on the back end be giving her all this false hope about how this is going to be over any day now. No, it's not, girl. We could honestly be here for the next few years, Wendy. Okay? It's no telling how long this will take. It's no telling how much of a blunt force impact this is going to take. Like, tell her the truth.
I think you've seen that a little bit with me, but I want to understand why this is being leaked. I mean, there's a gag order in place here, which is not, in my opinion, is completely unconstitutional. Okay, gag order in a criminal case is been ruled to be unconstitutional unless it affects the safety of the jury or the sanctity of the jury process. I mean, in a guardianship case where there is no jury, what's the purpose of a gag order? There is none. But yet the gag order seems to be, when these lawyers can't say anything, the ones who are admitted into the guardianship case, which is specifically why I have not yet entered into that. Not to mention, I'm here for a jury trial, not for some preordained process. But how does the other side get to leak a medical report without leaking the medical report? I mean, where is the medical report? We'd love to see it because I know her testing isn't complete yet. And I know the preliminary testing, I spoke to a doctor that she did not too long ago, months ago, was really a positive result for her. So I'd like to see this medical diagnosis, a report signed by a medical doctor saying that Wendy Williams today has dementia. We're going to have some real tough questions for that doctor on cross-examination. And then, I want to know how he became there and who hired him, because he's not the independent doctor that was supposed to be put in place by the court.
Let me ask you something, Joe. I'm not an attorney here, but I would like to know, you said that there's a gag order in place, right, for this, which you think is unconstitutional. But if someone is leaking a medical report or medical information, number one, wouldn't that gag order be broken from them? And also, what about HIPAA?
Yeah, HIPAA, gag orders, and it's just happened. And I don't see any outrage on the judge's part. I don't see any outrage on the guardian's part. The guardian who's supposed to be protecting Wendy Williams' rights. All I see is leaked stories about a medical report. There's a HIPAA violation. There's a gag order violation. Again, I'm not supporting a gag order, but there is one in place. Why isn't the judge act? Somebody needs to be outraged aside from me and aside from Wendy and Wendy's family. It's this whole process, and that's a great, your question.
I agree. It's definitely giving flip-floppy energy, girl. Like, NDAs in place, people's medical diagnoses are being illegally, allegedly leaked, unless the blogs and the outlets are lying, which we do have a onslaught of fake news taking place in this era, child. So the attorney is basically outraged and saying, look, there's a lack of outrage here. Once again, he's going for sanctions, etc. Y'all know that I'm pro guardianship for Wendy, because this is the best the bitch has ever been doing. This is the best the bitch has been looking in years. We ain't got no images of her seizuring out in a Statue of Liberty outfit, girl. She's not halfway passed out on Rodale Drive, sitting in the goddamn display window like a damn leftover mannequin. So I'm here, girl, for all of the beautiful results of the guardianship. I know a lot of y'all, want her up out of it, child. But, Tommy, her brother, knows her best and says, look, my sister gets her shit together when she's a part of these systems. Then she gets out, and it's just 6 months later, girl, the crack has cracked out, okay? So this is the most consistent we've seen Wendy. And I want to remind you guys that when you guys are looking at Wendy pooching and she seemingly is lucid and she's being herself, you're looking at all of the results of her regimented life in the guardianship, who's not allowing her ass to drink, not allowing her ass to put a needle to her arm, not allowing her to put no Christina Aguilera to her motherfucking nose, okay? They got that middle part on that wig laid, baby, okay? She up in there eating her carrots and her Sasquatch and her asparagus, okay? Y'all are looking at all of the beautiful results, all of the regimented, disciplined implications, okay, of the guardianship, who is not playing with Wendy's ass, okay? That's why she's so damn lucid. They had her ass in a 4x4. Baby, she can't hide no 8-ball in the microwave, baby. Okay? She got nurses and doctors and helper outers to come and wipe her ass and to make sure she good, honey. Check her armpits for ecstasy and shit. Okay, they got her together, and I'm here for it. I know, Wendy, nobody is ever going to like being locked down or like, especially an adult. An adult is never going to like having to answer to someone else for permission to do practically mundane things. So I don't ever expect Wendy to like that she's in a guardianship, but the guardianship is protecting her from herself, and it is the lesser of two evils. And if I had to prefer the Wendy trusted unto her own devices without the conservatorship version of Wendy versus the Wendy that's in a conservatorship, I'm going to take the conservatorship version of Wendy. I want to see her healthy and I want to see her alive. She got children. She got family that love her. And look, if she has to be protected from herself by having a babysitter, so be it. Now, I can't share my screen with you guys, so I'm not able to show you guys Wendy Williams pooching around, girl. Okay, there's paparazzi footage of her pooching around in a onesie on her scooter, girl. She's in some type of a glitterized Beyonce single ladies ensemble. When I first saw this footage of her breezing through the goddamn lobby with her her NYC purse and this VMA outfit her ass is wearing, the first thing that I thought about is how Wendy looks like a 21-year-old Sukiyana at prom, girl. It was given 21-year-old Sukiyana at prom, child. I don't know who the hell told Wendy Williams to have all her flat ass hanging all up out of her backside when she knows she ain't got nothing but a backside, okay? She don't have no ass at all, baby, yet she had all them legs, okay? Ain't nothing but leg from ankle to hip, girl, just straight leg, okay? There's no cellulite. There's not a hump in the trunk. There's not a bump, a speed bump on the curb. No, nothing, baby. Just straight up leg. I said, baby, Wendy is feeling her motherfucking self, girl. This bitch knew, girl, she was diva on Hot Wheels, girl, okay? Had on her shades. She was swinging that damn wig around, baby. Wendy ass was ready to tear up some shit, bitch, okay? But then there's another piece of paparazzi footage that emerged, and I can't show y'all my screen, girl. I'm so mad I can't show y'all my screen, girl. But Page 6 caught up with Wendy, and she was talking to the cameras, and they were asking her about her leaked medical report, and this is what she had to say.
Dementia diagnosis?
No, and my attorneys are highly upset.
They are?
Yes, my attorneys are highly upset.
Okay, good.
Diamond, yeah.
And what about do you have anything you want to say to your conservator?
I want to say hi to my attorneys, Alan Diamond, all right, and Joe.
Cool.
Joe Tacopino.
Cool.
Those are my attorneys, and I will get out of guardianship.
Girl, I'm sorry. I'm girl. You can tell, girl, that frontal temporal is still very much so activated. It's definitely still not giving Wendy Williams purple chair. It's definitely still not giving completely there. Like the room, like the lights are on in the room, and there's somebody in the room with the lights on. But the person in the room with the lights on might still be a little dazzled and a little dizzy. Wendy, even though this is the best of her health, and this is probably as best as it's going to get at this point, it's still giving dazzled and dizzy. It's still giving dazzled and dizzy, girl. Okay? If you would have saw the person who, like, she was being held up by, the young man she was being held up by, when she was speaking to Page 6, girl, that person had to look her dead in her face, almost as if he was like telepathically controlling her mouth, girl, like having to be very much so a intentional listener, girl, because he knew, girl, That dementia could hit any moment, baby, okay? And he was paying full on attention, girl, to the words and the syllables that were coming out of her mouth. What's going on, Belicia? Okay? Girl, they know. The people know, girl. The people know, okay? Don't be falling for the optics of it all, baby, okay? Wendy is still dazzled and dizzy. Now, my whole middle ground with Wendy, as I have always said, is look. Guardianship should give her privileges according to her sustainability and her capability. So I'm happy that she's living in her own place now. She's out of the facility. Amen to that. She's pooching around. She comes and goes when she pleases. Sabrina comes over every now and again. Make sure that there's no crack hanging from the chandeliers, okay? Make sure there's no needles and drug deposits, in the kitchen bathroom sink. So I feel like, okay, as long as she makes progress, they can allow her leisure. That's fair game, girl. Treat her like an honor roll student. Treat her like a 5th grader, girl, okay? You get, gold stickers for the week if you've done well, and then you get black stars, on the days that you acting a wigless fool. So I like where it's going. And I honestly think that Wendy shouldn't blow her money on attorneys right now trying to free her because she's old as hell. She's never going to be on daytime television to the extent in which she was. She clearly is still dazzled and dizzy. And the guardianship does do her some good. I would probably be taking my chances on just actually getting well. And just being as well as I can be. I don't know if I would be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on freedom when, to Wendy's point, she was able to buy herself a high-powered scooter, the best on the market according to her. So guardianship is not draining her money. She was able to still buy her son an expensive car for his graduation. That's according to her. So guardianship is not drawing up her funds. She's able to still live in a beautiful high-end apartment in a secure building, etc., because she still got it. Conservatorship is not draining her money. She's still walking around in designer jewelry and designer clothing. Her lace glue is expensive, bitch. Her dentures are denturing. She's still a rich bitch. And she's still living a rich bitch life, which is why Miss Hot Wheels is feeling herself all around town, girl. So I would just count my blessings at this point. I would find some way to, I would be praying God give me the capacity to appreciate guardianship and what it's done for my life. I am a grown-ass woman who don't want to have to answer to anybody because I am a narcissistic, egotistical maniac. However, I've been well. And my ex-husband is out of my life. And I've regained control over my health. And, I'm living a great life. I just got some extra help in my life. That's not really a bad deal considering that I was being found unresponsive in a drug alcohol-induced coma just several years ago with my wig hanging off the balcony, for God's sake. This is not really a bad deal, bitch, okay? I feel like Wendy is getting a little bit ungrateful, girl. The truth is, bitch, you would have been dead without the guardianship. They were finding you dead, bitch. You had to get several liters of blood pumped back into your brain because you were drinking yourself into the literal afterlife. Wendy had to have a whole blood transfusion after her DJ found her unresponsive in her condo apartment surrounded by empty-ass vodka and Hennessy bottles. So, get it together, girl. What's going on, Judge Shady? So I feel like rather than y'all praying for her to be free, can y'all pray that this bitch gets some gratitude? Can y'all pray that this bitch gets some appreciation for guardianship? Girl, you need to be sending Sabrina and the judge, a bouquet of roses, honey. Okay, you might get more bees with honey than with shit, girl. I be kissing them white whores' asses. Okay, girl. I'd be working on demonstrating, girl, that I can walk in a straight line, that I can, jump rope, that I can eat my beans and weenies cohesively, girl, and I would just be working on demonstrating total stability versus arguing with these hoes and dragging their asses through the damn media, knowing that these bitches can lock me inside of a cardboard box and throw me onto the rooftop, girl, of any hospital on any motherfucking given day, girl. Like, when Wendy be on her bald-headed hoe shit and be dragging the conservatorship, girl, I be scared for her, girl. I'm just like, girl, she's gonna end up in a coffin on top of a hospital rooftop, girl. Yes. Like, they're gonna lock her ass into a coffin, bitch, and they're gonna be feeding her through little mice holes in that coffin, girl. Okay, she'll be getting her water, and she'll be getting her liquefied cabbage, girl, through these little mice holes in the coffin on the rooftop of the facility, girl. Stop playing with these pale people, girl. You know Sabrina and that judge probably are MAGA, girl, so you gotta play chess, bitch, not checkers. All right, so I'm Team Wendy being well. I'm not per se Team Wendy get out of conservatorship. I'm just Team Wendy get well, and whatever that looks like. And it's looking like the Lord has decided that her wellness gonna have to come with some overhead. Her wellness gonna have to come, baby, with some supervision here, girl. Okay, so I'll continue to let you guys know what happens. The judge is going to take it all the way to the courts and then some, all right? But speaking of the courts, you guys may or may not have heard that Tory Lanez is having the worst 2 weeks of his life as Megan Thee Stallion is chewing on the bones of him and his alleged paid surrogate, Nappy Radio, okay? While Nappy Radio is out here being exposed in court depositions, and she owes Megan Thee Stallion $5s and $10s of thousands of dollars for breaching us and being difficult during discovery, and girl, just wasting the court's time and playing games and not wanting to get her phone cloned and not wanting to cough up information, etc. Girl, you guys already know it's going to be a total wrap for Nappy Radio come this November, December, girl. A jury is going to absolutely find that bitch completely and utterly guilty of every single thing that Megan has accused her of. The depositions are exposing that Nappy Radio done been to Tory Lanez's home. She's been in relationship to Tory Lanez's father. There's been money exchanges, as you guys know, earlier on in the case when we saw the Zelle payments from Tory's dad to Nappy Radio. There's been thousands of text messages that have been deleted all across her Discord, etc., girl. And the bitch has just been knucking the bucking because she knows what it's going to give. Megan Thee Stallion is going to tear her ass out of the frame, girl. I'm not sure if Nappy Radio is even going to have a home to raise her children in, or whether she's just going to be bound to a women's shelter once Megan gets through with her. It's going to be a wash and a rinse, and it's going to be definitely a equal epic L taken to Trasha K's lawsuit from Cardi B, girl. I mean, it's going to be nasty. Where Tory Lanez has also been attempting to get some wiggle room and to get his lick back against Megan Thee Stallion. You guys know that he also was brought into the cyberstalking lawsuit against Nappy Radio, and he had to sit down for a deposition. You guys know that he acted a plumb fool during the deposition. We read the transcripts from the deposition. Tory Lanez immediately knew he fucked up and began to email his attorneys, trying to see how he could make what happened better. By that time, the attorneys was already telling the judge that we don't give a fuck, do what you will with his ass. This was a goddamn clown show, and we can't even defend him and his actions at this goddamn point. Well, you guys know recently the judge did find Tory Lanez in contempt of court. He has also to pay Megan's attorney fees and court fees, girl. When I tell you that Megan is stomping on these whores' bodies, like, the fact that she's using Nappy Radio and Tory Lanez's body as trampolines, girl, is hilarious. Also, you guys know that Tory Lanez has been trying to get his sentencing reduced or get free from his sentencing to hell by presenting quote-unquote new evidence in one of his appeals. Well, that evidence has been rejected. The courts have denied Tory Lanez's request to submit new evidence in Megan Thee Stallion's ooting case. Tory Lanez attempt to submit new evidence and challenge his 2022 felony conviction has undoubtedly collapsed. Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, brought forward 2 petitions in his case, which concerns the 2020 shooting of hip-hop artist Megan Thee Stallion. According to Complex, one involved Peterson's driver not testifying, and the other sought to bring forward a new statement from a security guard for Kelsey Harris, the victim's former best friend. Both were subsequently denied Tuesday by the California Courts of Appeal. Peterson's legal team alleged at a press conference in May that Bradley Jennings, who was working as a bodyguard and driver for Harris, approached them and said that he had witnessed a conversation in which Harris said, quote, "She had the GUN. She fired it 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the GUN fired 2 more times. An attorney for Lanez added, quote, "In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody." Megan Thee Stallion's team was quick to respond, issuing a statement that next day, quote, "Tory Lanez was tried and convicted by a jury of his peers, and his case was properly adjudicated through the court system," they wrote per XXL magazine. Quote, "This is not a political matter. This is a case of a violent assault that was resolved in a court of law. Peterson is serving a 10-year sentence after being convicted of assault with a firearm, possession of a concealed firearm, and negligent discharge of a GUN. He has an active main appeal set for oral argument on August the 18th, which is happening right now. It's also being streamed live, and I have some audio excerpts for you guys to hear from concerning that oral court session. So the judge, David Hereford, rejected arguments from Peterson's defense team, which claimed that evidence had been wrongly submitted in the December 2022 trial he presided over. He said that, quote, "I could be your son, I could be your brother," the rapper pleaded, but to no avail. So Tory Lanez was fighting for his whole life. He's sick of folding draws for Big Dick Derek. He is sick of throwing his ass in a circle and doing something strange just to get phone time. Those kneecaps have been burnt to a crisp, girl. His back has been blown out. His wig cap has been slicked back. And he's just tired, girl, of being somebody's feminine bitch in prison. So he is just going completely ape shit, girl. He's trying to retry a case that has already been tried with evidence that's not even new, evidence that was presented at the time, and literally thought that the most spectacular break in the case that he could present was third-party information, which is purely accusational. Like, this alleged bodyguard of Kelsey is literally hearsay. It's not objective. There's no way for the bodyguard to per se prove that the conversation took place. The bodyguard has no witnesses to the conversation, and yet he made the bodyguard do an entire sworn affidavit, girl. And all of this, once again, saw the light of day at the time, and it hit the floor just like his ass and his knees does every single motherfucking day. So now his lawyers are arguing for their lives and his, because you guys also know that Tory Lanez was in prison getting his Shawshank Redemption on, girl. He was stabbed up 27 different ways, like Freddy Krueger as a teenager on Elm Street. He had to end up being a helicopter to the goddamn ER, girl. He had to have been butchered down. I don't know whether he got into a fight with Chef Boyardee, but baby, whomever this goddamn sex offender was that tore his ass out of the frame, girl, he definitely had to have experience in the kitchen, girl. Okay, girl, because those cuts were precise. They were deep, and they were accurate, girl. Tory Lanez almost left our altercation looking like a damn jigsaw puzzle, bitch. Okay? Here are some of the audio excerpts from the oral court hearing going on today, which was also visual. I can't share my screen because StreamYard is tripping, but check out this listen.
Hours after the shooting, Colin made a recorded call to Harris stating that he didn't even remember what they were arguing about, and he wanted to know the hospital where Pete was being treated. He blamed alcohol for the quote-unquote shit that he did. Now, the second one was later that day, Alan sent a text to Pete, to the victim, and that text was preserved. In it, Alan said Pete would probably never talk to him again, that he was sorry, and he blamed again the alcohol for the quote-unquote shit that never should have happened. And then the third and final is the verified Instagram post that I'll also get to. Now, appellant's assertion is that he really wasn't accepting blame for having shot Pete, but for causing a rift in the relationship between Pete and Harris. And that's just nonsensical. First of all, Harris told the appellant she was at the hospital waiting for Pete. So if there had been a momentary rift that night, it was over because she's now at the hospital waiting for her friend that she's known for 7 years to be released and checking on her. Second, appellant didn't apologize to Harris, but yet he anticipated that Pete would never talk to him again. He was clearly accepting responsibility for something very big, something that applied to Pete, but not to Harris. And as appellant said, he couldn't remember what they'd argued about. He wasn't accepting blame for anything he said. Finally, appellant said that he expected to receive backlash once word got out. Now, backlash for causing a rift makes no sense.
None
Backlash
at all.
for shooting someone does.
Exactly. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. I done messed up.
The evidence in this case was compelling. Turning to a few of the issues that have been highlighted here today. I'll start first with the Instagram post. This was appellant's verified account. And a few times today I heard opposing counsel mention Brady, but Brady was never mentioned in appellant's opening brief or the reply brief. Can't be raised for the first time in oral argument. And frankly, it has no application here because the things that were turned over were inculpatory, not exculpatory. So when it comes to the Instagram posts, they were turned over upon realizing them, and there was no, many of the case, as you'll see in the respondent's brief, many of the claims that appellant raises are forfeited by a lack of objection at trial. And one of the things Your Honor asked is, did counsel ever ask for redaction? I don't see that anywhere in the record when it came to the Instagram posts. In fact, counsel didn't even object on the discovery basis.
Wow.
The objection was solely based on foundation. So discovery doesn't work for appellant on appeal. And as to foundation, the question really is whether or not there is an inference that could be drawn that a statement was made by a party. If so, it falls under the party opponent exception to the hearsay rule.
Wow, baby. They're chewing Tory Lanez and his defense up, girl, saying that, look, this is bullshit, nonsensical. The reason why he said all that he said on that jail call to Kelsey is because it was an admission. He knew he had popped Megan Thee Stallion. He created all this riffraff. Now she's in the hospital. TMZ is being leaked the footage from the damn California police choppers, and there's blood everywhere, and everybody's getting fingerprinted, girl. He was obviously remorseful, etc. If Kelsey was the one who had shot Megan, obviously this would have logically warranted Tory to have some type of adverse reaction to that. Because if I had caught the actual shooter and the shooter said, I'm outside the hospital waiting on Megan, I'd have been like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? And then who calls the quote-unquote shooter and apologizes to the shooter when, bitch, you're the reason we're all in this? So I'm so glad that Meg's attorneys or the prosecution in this case are just seeing through the bullshit. Like, look, the arguments don't make no goddamn sense. The man was apologizing. The reason why he said he apologized don't even make no damn sense. I was apologizing over fucking two friends. That makes no fucking sense, bitch. Not when you basically had your team allude that she was the actual shooter. And, like, it's just not giving. Then he goes even further and said, look, these people wasn't even contesting, combating, or even opposing discovery, deposing a lot of the evidence we were bringing forth, etc. Basically, it was given, girl, why are we here? Why are we here? There's one more audio excerpt I want you guys to hear from where the state attorney deems Tory Lanez's claim of not apologizing for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, well, actually, that's the same clip. So Tory Lanez, girl, you're cooked. That broccoli been done. Sit your ass on Rikers Island or Sing Sing and just be glad that you're going to have an opportunity after the next 5 years to write a tell-all about what it was like to be anally penetrated, what it was like to be straight identifying and having to suck dick just to go to the water fountain. And really use your testimonial as a forced homosexual to encourage young street criminals about the dangers of living the way that they're living and being pipelined into a system that's going to just further wreck their lives. Not only are they going to have mugshots in a criminal rep sheet, which is going to make it hard for them to find decent and lawful employment, but girl, they're also going to be turned into forced homosexuals. Okay, girl? So, you know, just focus on that tell-all. Just focus on continuing to take dick over the next 5 years. Breathe and push out. The more you resist the dick, the more injurious it's going to be to your booty hole, girl. So just breathe and open up all of the vowels in your body. Okay, that's the best way to be the receiver of anal sex, girls. Breathe and relax all of your muscles. The more that you tense up, bitch, the more that you're going to singe and burn your eyelids off of your eye socket. Okay, so just relax and breathe, Tory, girl. Okay, you got 5 more desperate years to be there, but do the Lord's work, write that tell-all, and talk about all of your homosexual, sexual, anal, bussy bopping, twerking experiences in prison and all of the slutty backwood things you had to do for chocolate milk, that you had to do for a bag of Skittles, that you had to do, you know, to get on the phone with your son, girl, and just let all of the free criminals who are getting away with their crimes right now know, baby, that it is not worth the price. The price is way too high for the life that you guys are living, honey. Okay? You're going to be a part of orgies. You're going to be fucked upside down. You're going to be bent into pretzels. There's going to be a dick in your ass and a dick in your mouth all at the same time. You're going to have to then pretend to still be interested in pussy when you get out, when your anal cavity is going to miss all of that rock hard cock that's going in and out of you. You know, tell them, girl, about the psychological dangers and the way that this, you know, ratchet prison abuse is going to just transform their psychology and ideology, girl. Tell them how it's going to mutate them from the inside out, girl. Okay, like redeem yourself, Tory. Okay, you've been put in this situation by your actions, and the redeeming quality is just being honest about why you should respect women, honest with Black men about why you should control your temperament and never allow your ego to get behind the wheel of the car, because you'll end up almost unaliving somebody, and then you'll have to pay for it for 10 years by getting fucked in doggy style. That's what I want to hear. That's what I personally want to hear. Okay? I'm ready for the tell-all. Are you with me or are you not with me? All right, moving along. Because speaking of court cases, girl, retrograde been tearing these girls up under a who got all these legalities going on. And I just blotched out I didn't even put these people in my headlines. Hold on. It was a DD&G and Haley excerpt. Hold on. We got breaking news. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay, so Haley and DD&G, guys. You guys know that Chicken of the Sea and DVD have been in a custody battle for the past few months. Haley had accused DDG of abusing her, breaking her tooth. She asked for full custody. She's been overseas shooting a movie, etc., which is where Baby Halo has been held hostage at. I really miss Baby Halo in my algorithm. He was the internet's nephew. And, you know, I'm just having Halo withdrawals, okay? You guys know that DVD contested this by alleging that she was actually the aggressor and the abuser, that she had taken his GUN, she had made various threats to unalive herself, had displayed psychosis at various points in their relationship, that she even tried to fight another girl that she thought he was with at a movie theater while she was pregnant with baby Halo. And it was a whole entire mess. Ultimately, the judge allowed Haley to sustain custody and wanted to revisit all of this in another evidentiary hearing where they could just comb through all of this. And the judge also granted a mutual protective order on the both of them. So Haley has to stay the fuck away from DVD, and DVD has to stay the fuck away from Chicken of the Sea. Now, in between all of this, they were supposed to attempt to figure out a co-parenting plan, okay? The courts really try to give parents the opportunity to be adults, to pull on their big girl, big boy panties and sit down and figure out what'll work for them. Well, Chicken of the Sea and DVD have not been able to successfully come to a co-parenting plan. So now there will be a hearing set forth of this month on the 20th. So on the 20th, in 2 days, they'll be back in court, and the judge is going to attempt, girl, this is so messy. It is so crazy how these people went from being in love and, you know, everything is everything. Babies are coming into the world. It's lights, camera, actions. And now you would think this is like Putin and the damn Biden administration, girl. Like, it couldn't be more than contrasting. So it's no telling how this hearing is going to go. More than likely, the courts are just going to assign a regiment, a stipulation, and they'll just have to abide by it. There's obviously going to be a mediator. Chicken of the Sea already said she don't want any of those mediators or in-between people being anybody from DVD's fucked up ass family. So more than likely, it's going to be someone state appointed, girl. It's giving guardianship from you, girl. It's giving that Sabrina Morrissey about to have another job, girl, aside from Wendy Williams, bitch, or Craig. Call in Sabrina Morrissey, girl. Okay, the courts. Do I need to email the judge, honey, and tell them to get a hold of Sabrina Morrissey, girl? Because Sabrina done went over there and got Wendy and her wig together, girl. Okay, she'll come right on up in there and put them black ass people on a strict ass Caucasian regimen, baby. And in 6 months, baby, everybody gonna be all smiles. Everybody gonna be in the sunken place. Okay, like a damn Jordan Peele movie, Get Out, baby. Everybody gonna be rightfully so indoctrinated and zombied out, baby. It's gonna be good Caucasian times, girl. Do we need to call Sabrina Morrissey and put her on assignment, girl? Because she getting black households all the way in order. I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait till Halo has access to his dad again, girl. Miss Ariel done grown legs. That bitch over there riding Jamaican dick on the shores of damn Africa and shit, baby. DVD, go get your child, honey. Go get your child, baby. Ariel done grown legs, and she out there riding men with dreadlocks on the shores of Ghana. Okay, on the shores of the Congo, baby. Okay, getting her best life, baby. Halo needs both of his better halves in his life. So we're going to be continuing to put them on the sick and shut-in list and send them light and love, child. And I'll keep you guys updated on what the hell, you know, the outcome is of this whole custody situation. Now, speaking of courts, it's a running theme, baby. Every time we get a retrograde, y'all know the court's going to be courting. Sarah Stokes from Making the Band is speaking out after 21 of her 22 count claims in a sexual assault lawsuit against Diddy have been officially dropped. My God, today. You guys know that Sarah Stokes was the singer of the Making the Band group, and she came out during the indictment and imprisonment and trial of Diddy and filed a civil lawsuit claiming that she also had been essayed and groped and abused in various ways, but a white man decided that 21 of those 22 claims are irrelevant and cannot be legally fought. And now this is Sarah and her half wig speaking out. Check out what Sarah Stokes had to say following 21 of 22 counts being dropped.
Of course, dismissed some of the claims, but not all of them. The most serious and personal claims, sexual assault, and Mr. Combs, it remains very much alive. This fight was never about headlines. It's about truth, accountability, and justice. For me and for every other survivor that has been told that they should just give up. I will not be silenced, and I will not be intimidated, and I will seek the same. Thank you to everyone that has been standing with me. The journey continues. Oh, and don't think, because y'all got all that unlimited amount of baby oil, that y'all gonna slide through this. Oh. And for those that have been trying to defame me with those false stories, the truth will be.
First of all, who in the fuck told Sarah to put this Barney and Friends as instrumental behind her PSA? Secondly, why in the hell would you make a baby oil joke as a alleged SA victim of Diddy to begin with? And three, how do you not know that between the comedy of this damn loud ass backtrack and then you joking about baby oil doesn't reduce this entirely to a goddamn parody? Like, at first I had to think, girl, is this AI? She can't be serious with this. She can't be serious. Like this, it's no way. She's serious, girl. And the fact that she didn't even blend her leave out with the rest of her half wig lets me know, girl, how unserious it is. Like, I don't know, it was giving girl GHB induced. I don't know what the T is, but now I can see why 21 or 22 claims have been dismissed, bitch. Like, the judge left you with a ray of hope. And at this point, I would just go ahead and walk away quietly. I would just act like this thing never happened. Diddy has been getting a lot of legal victories when it comes to these civil suits. Most of them are going to be dismissed. Most of the counts in them are going to be dismissed. It's going to be a long, long, long day before any of these people probably even see any type of a positive outcome from their suits. Diddy is still very much so a multi-millionaire. Even after all of this, he's going to draw these people out to the very end. He ain't got nothing but time at this goddamn point, especially since he may be in jail for the next 5 to 7 damn years. We don't know what the judge is going to do, whether he's going to be given house arrest, etc. People are saying that the charges he were found guilty of don't typically warrant people to be in prison, and he's already done a year, so it's already considered time served. But look, Diddy is a black ass man on a white man's chessboard. So, you know, we always have to expect the exception to be made, okay? Diddy would be the one to sit his ass in jail, okay? This would be a historical, unique manifestation. Just because he black, girl, when you black in America, girl, you cannot look at the history books, or you can't look at those type of pathologies and patterns to try to predict your fate because you black, bitch, okay? You're probably going to be dealt the worst hand. You're probably going to be overcharged, over-sentenced, girl. You know, you just have to expect all of that. So, Sarah, baby, you couldn't make the band, and it's looking like you're not going to be making court either, my love. You know, I don't really think this is that difficult. I'm a very, like, PR-centered person in terms of, like, I look at shit and I think about how to navigate shit. It's probably not best for any of these people who want to come forth and bring suits against Diddy to really use trafficking. I wouldn't even use that type of language at this point because it's already been so over sensationalized and dragged out. Unless I had absolute bona fide receipts to prove and to substantiate and legitimize the language I'm going to be using in my lawsuit, I would just try to go an entirely different way to make my lawsuit look different from the trial, to make it look different from the other 117 damn lawsuits already filed by, you know, different individuals. I just think that because I don't think that Diddy is a good person. I don't think he's been well behaved. I believe that Diddy has been an abuser. I believe he's been a user. As I believe he's been inappropriate with women. But when it comes to the law and it comes to social media and it comes to all of this, it's not even hardly ever really about the truth. It's more so about just how to play the game. And I'm just surprised that these attorneys are just allowing. Why is everybody? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hello. Hi. Sorry about that, y'all. Everybody was blowing up my phone. So yeah, people need to just swerve, girl. Swerve, swerve, swerve. Different language, different methods. Because the court's saying like they are Diddy fatigued at this point, girl. They seem Diddy fatigued. So whomever's going to be filing the suit, they're going to have to just keep their head on a swivel and remember that, and just try some different language and verbiage when it comes to whatever they're trying to accomplish against Diddy Child. But we'll be sending Sarah Stokes light and love. Speaking of light and love, girl, Brian McKnight tries serving Jaguar Wright through Arizona newspaper after she allegedly ducks defamation lawsuit. Somebody go find Jaguar Wright and tell her to come up out of the backwoods in the trailer park she living in, bitch, and give Brian McKnight all that work. You got a big mouth. You make big claims about people. And now that it's showtime after your Apollo, bitch, hello, we're front and center. Why is Jaguar Wright stop, dropping, and rolling from accountability, girl? Okay, your biggest claim to all of your campfire story times have been, why has nobody sued me? Why has nobody sued me? Why has nobody sued me, girl? And then when Beyonce and Jay-Z got that Piers Morgan interview snatched, girl, you got shooketh. And now that Brian McKnight has applied full-on defamation lawsuit to you, girl, you ain't been nowhere to be found, baby. You've been live streaming from Pluto. Why is Jaguar Wright hiding and ducking and trying to evade this goddamn lawsuit, honey? Okay, yes, Brian McKnight is back at one, and one is Miss Jaguar. He's back at one, the one and only Jaguar, girl. Back at the one and only Jag. This is definitely a ding to Jaguar Wright's crown. I don't really understand why it's necessary to speak in a matter-of-a-fact way, especially when it comes to certain types of claims and opinions that could be labeled as slanderous. Once you present them in a matter-of-a-fact way, it is okay for us to give our commentary from the state of an opinion and a belief. Jaguar Wright, for some reason, that wasn't enough for her. She wanted to act like she was in the room. She wants to act like she saw children abused and assaulted. She wants to act like, girl, You know, she rescued young people from Epstein Island, girl. She was snorkeling on the backs of whales and rescuing teenage girls and putting them on the backs of humpback whales and bringing them to the shorelines of LA, girl, in California, baby. Brian McKnight wants you to tell those exact same stories to a federal judge, girl. And I'm going to need you to do the same. I'm going to need you to do the same, honey, okay? You made a lot of claims about that man abusing his wife and sleeping upside down like a damn vampire and recharging in the coffins and shit, bitch, okay? I mean, just made a lot of claims about that man. And that man want to see you in front of a federal judge, Miss Wire. Where is Miss Wire, girl, okay? Are we going to have to get Donald Trump to federalize and militarize Arizona, girl? Are we going to have to get ICE out there, bitch, to start banging and going door to door for Jaguar Wright, girl? Are we going to have to put out a warrant, girl, and get ICE on the job, huh? Are we going to have to weaponize the Trump administration, baby? You was the baddest bitch in the room. You wanted to be the loudest one on the microphone. And now that Miss McKnight is back at the one and only Jag, girl, he need that, he want that, he say he gotta have that, Jag. Where is the tea? Where you at? Where you at, girl? Jennifer Hudson tea. I swear you would be there for me. Where you at, Jag? Where you at? Where you at, girl? Okay, where are the TMZ producers for Where is Jaguar Right Now? I want to know. Girl, yeah, she ain't even pulling Santa Claus because, girl, she ain't even come into town. At least Santa coming into town for better or for worse, girl. He is coming. Jaguar Wright never even got in the sleigh. She never even got in the sleigh and came into town. And Brian says he needs that. Where is it? This ain't making no sense, baby. What y'all gonna do with Jaguar Wright since y'all know she can't tell them tall tales to the court of law? Huh? What y'all gonna do with Jaguar Wright now? She was in a room, girl, when Beyonce was killing Aaliyah. She was in a room, baby. When Diddy was trafficking minors through underground layers, girl. She was hiding in the attic of the Epstein mansion, baby. She was a part of the security detail. Okay, for the Clintons, baby. What y'all gonna do with her? What y'all gonna do with her? Brian McKnight tried serving Jaguar Wright through Arizona newspaper after she allegedly ducks defamation lawsuit. Brian McKnight is done trying to find Jaguar Wright the old-fashioned way after weeks of failed attempts. The R&B singer wants the courts to let him go public in print. McKnight's legal team says Wright has dodged every attempt to be served with his defamation lawsuit. So now they're asking for permission to notify her through legal ads in the Arizona Republic. His attorney, Brian Saba, explained their move in court documents. Quote, "It is apparent that Wright is evading service, given that McKnight made reasonable attempts to serve Wright, and Wright is evading service by refusing to answer the door, to open the door, or to sign the return receipt. Service by publication is necessary to provide notice of McKnight's complaint. Since May, process servers have tried to reach Wright at her Phoenix address at least 6 times. In one case, someone inside denied knowing anyone named Jaguar. That was probably Jaguar her damn self denying that she knew Jaguar. I bet you that bitch is getting her damn disassociation on right now. At other times, see, the mental illness is becoming into play, baby. Okay, baby. See, now, girl, this is a righteous use of your mental illness, baby. That bitch rightfully so went off her medication so that she could legally disassociate, so that when them damn process servers came to the door, girl said, "Who that? Jag, who that? Miss Wright, who that?" Girl, she in her who that bad. She's in her who that bag. At other times, no one answered, even when it looked like someone was home. Certified mail didn't work either. McKnight filed the lawsuit in April, accusing Wright of spreading what he calls totally false and damaging stories online. She alleged that he abused his ex-wife, Julie McKnight, hired SEX workers, and even claimed Julie was her cousin, something Bryant flat out denies. After news of the lawsuit broke, Wright responded by calling McKnight a scumbag and promised that she'd be a nightmare for him. Ha! If the judge approves, McKnight can run the legal notice once a week for 4 weeks. Wright might catch the news with her morning paper if she's not already expecting it. To read the rest, log on to balleralert.com. What he needs to do, baby, is just go and clip Jaguar Wright acknowledging the lawsuit, acknowledging that she's been sued, acknowledging that Brian McKnight is on her ass, because that's more than enough proof to bring forth to the courts, girl, that she definitely has been notified. And if he needs to physically get that in her hands, all he needs to do is wrap that shit in a Newport 100, girl. Just wrap your lawsuit up, Brian McKnight, inside of a Newport 100, baby, and sit that single Newport on her front porch, baby. That bitch gonna smoke that shit down to the motherfucking filter, and indeed, she will be notified from the inside out, baby. You gotta hide the motherfucking lawsuit, girl. Disguise it, cloak it, baby, in a Newport single 100. Okay. I just gave you game, girl. Run me my cash at Bryant McKnight. Last but not motherfucking least, Nick Cannon is out here giving progressive advice to bisexual men who want to date women but who are having a hard time dating women because once those women find out that they like them a little bit of dick every now and again, those women don't want to see no more of their ass. So here is Nick Cannon, girl, responding to this bisexual man here seeking advice on when to disclose and how to disclose. I believe that our Flame Monroe was also a part of this discussion alongside Nick Cannon as well. Listen to this.
A bisexual man, my biggest struggle is telling women that I am into men on the first date. As soon as I tell them this, I could instantly see them being turned off. And everything I say after that don't even really matter. So I want to know, is it a certain time or a certain way I should let women know that I am bisexual? Because dudes don't care. I can just instantly tell them that they won't give a but when it comes down to women, they are instantly turned off. So should I wait? Because I feel like that's kind of cheating somebody out of a relationship.
I'm gonna let y'all handle the
first answer for the first question is duh. Of course a woman go left if that ain't what she's into. You can't change a man. He was a pretty guy too. He must live in Atlanta. He was a pretty
So as a bisexual man, my biggest struggle is telling women that I am into men on the first date. As soon as I tell them that,
y'all missed that whole joke. He's a pretty guy too, but he on some bullshit. A woman that likes men that don't get down like that. That's not, now this new flavor. They doing a lot of shit. But women who just stand who want a man that don't do that, she don't even want to know.
So all right, so let me kind of understand this here, because Almond said when he goes out with men that there's never no problem telling a man that he also likes.
Listen, I got dick and titties and get down with it. Get down. Period.
I was about to say, you're an expert.
You're damn straight. I don't know. I had a problem with the bisexual thing. I'm telling you, men always teach all this bisexual shit. My friend just asked me, you think Shannon Sharp is gay? I said, no, I don't think he's gay. She said, you think he's straight? I said, no, I don't think he's straight. She said, oh, you think he's bi? I said, no, I don't know if he's bi, but the damn show purchased. Y'all missed that whole joke.
What I want to say to him is that he's doing the right thing, right? Because if the women who he is trying to date are not okay with him being bisexual, then he's doing the right thing and he's not wasting anybody's time.
Well, if a woman pays more attention to him for more than 3 minutes, he ain't have to tell her.
And with a name like Almond,
this was a little broke. I'm just saying.
Well, anytime you go on a date with a named Almond, you might know.
And what I want to say to the ladies out here is bisexuality does actually exist. So there was this really interesting study. they put a cuff around men's penises.
Okay.
And they monitored the blood flow, right? So a lot of women are like, oh, he's bisexual. He's just gay, right? He's just, and a lot of gay men will first identify as, oh, I'm bisexual, sort of a stop on the way to gay town, right? But that's not always true.
A stop on the way to gay town.
What they found is that, yes, there were a lot of people who claimed to be bisexual who were indeed their penises, and not just what they're saying, their penises actually got just as hard, just as much blood flow looking at naked men or naked women. Now,
okay, hold on. So let me ask y'all, are y'all a part of the group of people who believe that bisexuality in men is a myth and that there's only gay men and straight men? Or do y'all believe that men can be genuinely bisexual? That they can genuinely be attracted to both sex? Or do y'all believe that that's a bunch of hogwash and a bunch of niggas who just can't admit that they gay, who claiming to be bisexual? Do y'all believe it's a myth, or y'all believe in the genuine bisexuality of men? Okay, so Pretty Crystal says it's not a myth. Teresa says no, there are bi men. Andrew says nah, bi men definitely exist. Rumors and Tea, thumbs up. Ray says no. St. Marquis says no, I say there's a lot of bi men. Okay.
Study. They did this 20-some years ago, and a lot of those men, when society was different, a lot of men who said they were bi were closeted.
Yeah.
But now that people are more open and it's okay to be queer, if men say that they're bisexual, chances are going up that he's actually bisexual.
But I think it's about honesty. I think that's the thing where because for whatever reason, there's a stigma to the idea that if he does have a past or if he's still attracted to, the same sex.
Okay, hey Josh, who says no myth. Teresa says I have 3 bi men friends. I'm gonna know what they're talking about.
He might be being dishonest.
Because I've been the husband and the wife in the same night.
So sound off, Romas. What is annoying you, Romas? Sound off.
You keep saying that.
No, it's the truth. I'm serious. I'm telling you, from a woman's perspective, though, if it's one thing that I know, I'm in competition with a woman. I know what she got. She can do what I do, but I don't know what he's doing with this man in my head from the woman's perspective.
Flame just opened up a whole can of worms, to be honest.
Always in a competition that I would never be able to reach. So that's why
Okay, so here's the issue. It's not a competition. I can't deal with this whole flawed talking point that, I can't date a bisexual man because I can't compete with men. Baby, it's not a competition. And you don't see men doing that when it comes to women. You don't see men who come to discover that the girl they're dating is bisexual and then run away from the dating experience under the guise that they can't compete with women. It's kind of weird that a lot of people make bisexual synonymous with cheating. Bisexuality simply means I'm attracted to both sexes. It doesn't mean I'm going to have my dick inside of both sexes if me and you are in a monogamous relationship. That's what it does not mean. And because bisexual people have been slandered, because the bisexual narrative has been so slandered throughout the millennia, bisexuality and cheating have now crisscrossed. But then you got some other issues with people's perception of bisexuals. You have the issue of, to Flame's talking point, well, I don't know what he's doing. I'm a woman. I know how to please a man from a woman's perspective. I don't know how to give him whatever it is he may be given from a man, whether he's a top or whether he's a bottom. Here's how you cure all that. And look, y'all never like it when we have these type of conversations, but I'm going to continue to stump the yard with the truth, with the unadulterated truth. If everybody, including straight, gay, male, female, trans, non-binary, non-gender conforming, he, we, he, her, and them, if everybody actually overcame all of their sexual prejudices, you wouldn't have no hang-ups about doing whatever in the bedroom. My personal philosophy when it comes to sex and when it comes to sexual partner or sexual partnering is, you're here to please me, I'm here to please you. When I say that, I mean that literally. I mean that the compromise here, right, that we're going into this with is you're going to please me. That means that you know at some point in this experience, you're going to do what satisfies me. What that means is that at some point in this experience, I'm going to be doing the things that satisfy you. Both of us are going to be giving up something to get something from one another. It's going to be a mutual exchange. If there are certain things that you like that I typically don't do, that I'm not normally into, I can make peace with that because you're also going to be doing things to me or allowing me to do things to you that you don't normally do and that you don't normally allow done to you. So as long as there's going to be a mutual meeting in the middle and we're going to be mutually exchanging, I'm okay. And I do feel like it's my job to satisfy someone who is satisfying me. So I don't have no sexual hangups. If you want me to pee on you, pee in you, you want to be turned upside down, you want to be handcuffed and get fucked halfway hanging out of the window, you want to be fucked halfway out of the damn airplane, you want to fuck in the cargo of the girl, wherever, however, I don't give a damn. Whatever hole you want it in, baby, it's up and it's stuck. You need it to be stuck. You want it to be up. Like, girl, give me all the things. I'm going to go wherever it is you want to go. I don't have no hang-ups, okay? And if you're going to be pleasing me, I'm going to damn sure please you, okay? And if you want to damn near come close to losing your life, if you want me to take you into an altered state, if you want me to slut you out, to rock you out, to fuck you into oblivion, I'm going to fuck you into oblivion. If you want to come close to death, I'm going to bring you close to death. If you want me to choke you while I look you in your eyes and suffocate you until your lungs are restricted and until the veins are popping out of your forehead and the room around you begins to go black and you begin to lose all sense of time and space and the material, and you want to start experiencing the life review and slowly crossing over, baby. If you need me to do all, baby, I got you. I got you, honey. Okay? So I'm very much so, I don't have to worry about these things when it comes to bisexual people. Because I'm going to do whatever a woman can do to you, and I'm going to do whatever the fucking man can do to you. Hi, bitch, I'm going to do whatever a trans can do to you. Okay? So this, like, unnecessary fear of bisexual people, like, honestly, if women didn't have sexual hang-ups, like, if your man is bisexual and your man likes a little bit of dick every now and again, and you don't want to have to fear him going somewhere or him leaving you for another man, don't. Put a fucking dildo up his ass. Put a fucking finger up his ass. If that's the small price for you to have a good, solid man or a good, solid, consistent sexual partner that you got mad sexual chemistry with, like, who gives a fuck? It's sex. It's playtime. You know, we're at a recess. You know, I've always had this very, like, kind of all-encompassing attitude when it comes to sex, that sex is kind of one of the only places and aspects of our lives where we can reduce ourselves to our sheer desires, where it's a shameless activity. It's supposed to be a place where people can do their shadow work, where people can really let go of their social constructs. When it comes to sex, I'm not man, I'm not woman, I'm not black, I'm not American, I'm not anything. I am just a being of desire and energy. And you can flip me, you can dip me, you can roll me into a motherfucking blunt and smoke me. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just here to be completely present and to just allow myself to be interconnected to another individual. And I don't have any of these hangups or prejudices in my motherfucking mind. So there's nothing that a man can do to a man that a woman can't do to a man. That's what strap-ons are for. And there are plenty of female tops. There are plenty of women who top they niggas. There's plenty of women who put a dildo and a strap-on to their nigga's ass, make him get on his knees and suck on that plastic, baby. Okay, there's nothing that a man can't do to a woman that a woman can't do to a woman. You know, we all can do all these things, but I feel like a lot of this fear is unnecessary. I feel like patriarchy and internalized misogyny has a lot to do with why there is a double standard when it comes to bisexual men versus bisexual women. We treat bisexuality in women a lot better than we do the bisexuality in men. I don't think that it's fair that women get to flip-flop and be sexually fluid and have phases of lesbianism and homoeroticism, and then when it comes to black men being sexually fluid, it's always got to be a congressional motherfucking hearing about it. I think that is really jaded. I think it's antiquated. I think this is completely motherfucking outdated. And I think it's time to just transcend and to just move the fuck on and get on with it already. Everybody is grown and do grown things in grown spaces and enjoy yourself and stop looking for judgment in every single fucking thing. And just actually give yourself and another person to actually just be people, to just be fucking human. All this trying to classify sexual behavior as gay and fucking straight. There are plenty of women who like anal sex, just like there's plenty of gay men who like fucking anal sex. Like, anal sex is not a gay thing. Liking to be penetrated is not a gay thing. You don't get to determine what feels good to your body. And God put the male G-spot in his anus, so men can have a profound orgasm through prostate stimulation, hence through his anal cavity. You gotta ask God why he put it deep in a man's ass. Baby, okay, God is very progressive, girl. So everybody just should get over it. Be big freaks, have really good sex, and take all the judgment off of sex. Take all the judgment off of other people's sexual play, off of other people's kinks and fetishes. And, you know, just let it be about that. It's just recreational as calorie burning activity. And that's it, and that's all. That's all. It's that simple. Conscious about to have his DM flooded. Look, I'm a Scorpio, baby. Y'all heard what Tyree said on Sounds of Love Making, baby. He got to that Scorpio, baby. He had a lot to say about every other zodiac, and the way they give it up sexually, girl. He got to that motherfucking Scorpio. All Tyrese can say is, I had a Scorpio. She had no limits to where she goes. She was so damn sexual. She said, Tyrese, are you ready for me? I'd do anything to fulfill your needs. Tell me what you want, and I got you, baby. Whisper in my ear, oh, I'm driving you crazy. Smack you from the side, or I'm grabbing the thighs. Baby, Tyrese had to give it up, girl. Baby, that Scorpio took him through some things in the bedroom, baby. That Scorpio had turned him out, yeah, baby. Had them took him out of his body, baby. Baby, you ain't gonna be the same after you done with the Scorpio. The Scorpio was done with you, girl. We gonna take you through it, okay? Traumatize you, baby, okay? So that's all I got for y'all. Hour and a half show, girl. It's a lot going on. We'll be live streaming all week or day. I may have to revisit some older stories that I missed a few days ago while I was up in Miss Philly, child. So y'all may be getting some commentary on some things that are already played out, as well as commentary on all of the current things going on. If there's anything that you guys want me to particularly speak on and commentate on, please put it in the comment section so I can keep that in mind for my next few dockets. If you guys enjoyed yourself, please show some love to the channel by thumbing up. Please share, tell a friend of a friend of a friend. You can always edit out your favorite parts of the commentary and put them on Facebook, put them on Instagram, put them in the form of reels, tag me all over social media, let them know where they can find the kingdom at. Also, if you enjoyed yourself, you can also donate to the platform $Consciouztv on Cash App and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv, Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the platform. You can also follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv, as well as sign up for Patreon at Consciouztv as well. Yes, honey, sending me some child support money, Miss Karen. Send it all through. And thank you in advance. I love you guys, and I may see you guys before the night is out again, because it's a lot percolating and circulating, girl, in Hollywood. Peace.